YouTube lawyer Nicholas Robert Rekieta at Rekieta Law, 42, and his wife Kayla Christine Rekieta, 40, both booked this morning on probable causes of possession of a controlled substance and possession of a firearm while using a controlled substance. We will update if and when formal charges become available. It's really more solemn to talk about this topic, which is one which frankly, I didn't want to have to talk about. I didn't want to talk about this at all. In fact, I was hoping that this would just go away. And that this issue and the issues with Nick and everything else would resolve themselves without something like this ever happening. But unfortunately, now we know that factually we have an arrest. We have members of the family arrested. So we're going to talk about that involving Nick Rekieta. For those who don't know, because I know some of you are VTuber fans, some of you may not know who Nick Rekieta is. The reason why I'm covering this is because Nick Rekieta, for better or for worse, is the person who brought me into one of the people that brought me into quote unquote LawTube. Now, actually, the first person to let me, to talk to me from the LawTube sphere, i.e., the lawyers on YouTube, was actually Joe Neerman of Good Logic. So Joe Neerman of Good Logic was the first person to talk to me, but the first big break, my big pump in my channel's numbers, came during the Rittenhouse trial. For those that haven't seen my clip, it's very famous and was from my time on Nick's show, where I was during the quintessential scene where Gage Grosskreutz was on the stand. He admits that he pointed a gun at Kyle Rittenhouse, which completely obliterates any of his points. And I go, that's it, it's over. And then I see the big fat attorney, Krause, he's got his head down. And I go, look at Binger. And then look at Big Boy, the fat attorney. And everyone knew that clip. My channel blew up. I got emails from everybody, and that's how my channel blew up on Nick's show. And then when it came to the Depp versus Heard trial, I was actually traveling during that trial too. But I managed to stream some. And when I did get on a stream, I got on with Nick Rekieta. So he was the one I preferred because at the time, the alternative Legal Bites had about 10 people on her channel. They also didn't want to say certain things. They weren't having fun. And Nick was having a little bit more fun on his channel with a smaller panel. So I went on his channel as well. That also helped my channel grow. I've also done many streams with Nick afterwards, and in fact did help defend Nick when it came to Nick getting canceled off of Twitter, when it came for him getting strikes on YouTube. I was one of the first and foremost people to back up Nick. So it's a very, very sad thing to me to see somebody that I once looked up to. I once took as a person who was very, very close to me. In fact, I had his back through a lot of things and against a lot of people. And I never wanted this to be the case because I remember, hey, that's where I came from. If you guys remember what went down with the whole thing with Legal Bites way back in the days, is in my channel lore, my channel history, right? I had Nick's back when there was a lot of stuff going down against Nick. I had Nick's back. But the thing is, and my good friend who's been on this channel many times, Dragon's Treasure T, he said it in one of his videos, and I need to say it right now, is that the Nick I knew from Rittenhouse, the Nick I knew from the Johnny Depp trial, and the Nick I even knew from Anime Matsuri. I met him at the only time I've met him in person is at Anime Matsuri, and that is a different Nick than the Nick that I've seen lately. So the Nick that I saw lately is not the same Nick. These are two different Nicks. It's a tale of two Nicks. And the person who had such concise legal analysis, that had a law channel that was focused on really doing, like I said, law splaining the internet, that Nick is really different than the Nick I've seen lately. And of course, Nick Rekieta is a Minnesota lawyer, right? He still is barred, for as far as I know, in Minnesota. And it's been a slide. And one thing that needs to be said, and yes, I'm going to get to your memberships and super chats and all that stuff later, so don't worry about that. But one thing I need to say here, guys, is um, is that I would have preferred to talk about none of this, but now that we've seen an arrest, that kind of changes the game. And beyond that, what has come out over the past week, even before the arrest, is that I was not the only one. I was not the only one who reached out to him, who tried to help, who tried to reach out a hand, who tried to say, "Hey, Nick, if you need anything, I'm here." Um, who tried to be that person and was pushed aside. And in fact, multiple times, when I tried to subtly suggest that things are not okay, and in fact, when I tried to suggest that maybe the drinking can be a little bit extreme sometimes, I was repeatedly attacked, passive aggressively, indirectly, or pushed away, right? And what I've learned is that this was not just my experience, this was an experience of many people. So this isn't something I'm saying I'm unique. Actually, this is something that happened to a lot of people, because the answer was, and I believe from everything I've seen, and I haven't seen everything, I haven't watched everything. It's impossible to watch all of every creator's streams. I haven't watched every Nick Rekieta stream, but from what I've seen, Nick to this date, even as soon as before his arrest, was saying that he does not have a problem and that there's no issue other than stress. And I can tell you, look, I've been under a lot of stress. I know there's a lot of stressful situations. I've had people pass away. I've had friends uh, in very bad situations. I've had people that I know pass away. I've had very traumatic things happen to me. I have very stressful things happening. Um, what I see from Nick is more than just stress, right? There's more. There was more there. And the transformation of Nick from the Nick that I knew and saw on screen during the Rittenhouse trial to the Nick, especially recently, is pretty stark. And most people are like me, and you guys, most people out there maybe gain a little bit of weight. I've actually gained some weight and to lose, I need to lose that weight. But Nick has dropped a lot of weight, and his complexion, when you see him on camera, regardless of whether it's good lighting or bad lighting, I could turn my lighting off right now and I don't look the same. That's when my lighting off, right? I don't look the same as Nick Rekieta. I can change the color of the lighting, even to a very pale white, to the palest white. Let me do that. This is the palest white lighting. I still don't look like Nick Rekieta, right? In those streams. See that's a better glow there. So there's definitely something that was going on. Now, I did not have any specific knowledge of any drug use. I'll just say that. However, if that indeed is the case, and we don't know whether that is the case or not, because Nick, like everybody else, and like I believe of everybody, is innocent until proven guilty, right? For all we know, the charges could be bullshit, right? We don't know yet, right? So as a lawyer, because I am a lawyer, not a Minnesota lawyer, but I am a lawyer, and criminal law does work similarly. Is innocent until proven guilty. And we don't know whether it's a bad charge, a good charge, whether there's a defense, whether it was potentially something that could have been prescription but was not prescription. Who knows? We have no idea exactly what's going on in terms of everything. But what I do know is I know that I know that there's something going on. And in case you haven't watched it, I'm going to play the clip that I saw the other day in which I said something is wrong, because it's not just me, right? It's not just me. It was many, many, many other people who reached out and said, yeah, this is a problem. right? This is a problem. And this is the clip that I think a lot of you guys have seen. And in fact, I saw you in the chat. I think people, let me just pull it up here before I get into this. I think I see people here who said this. Oh, what's up, mindset up home doing good. Thank you. Well, I'm not good because I don't think this is good news for anybody. So I am not good. But I think somebody said, did you see the clip? Right? I saw that from somebody. And this is the clip, right? And in case you haven't seen the clip, this is the one that circulated. And this is the one I've seen people retweet. I saw this is from Happy House Video on Twitter, but I saw Rev retweet this. I saw a bunch of other people retweet this, a bunch of normal other lawyers, other non-lawyers, non-law tubers, sector people, not Jim, I mean, these are people like other people outside of the sphere. Like Kirsha retweeted this. Thank you. Kirsha retweeted this. People saw this and were like, this is a problem. So this behavior, I'm going to play this and I'll let you guys judge for yourself. Is this like what is going on in this behavior? I'm just going to play this.
Why is my camera still on?
So I know that's a clip and I know it's 1 minute and lots of clips can be taken out of context, but whatever was going on there and whatever that is, yeah, that's not okay. And clearly that's not something that is okay to be like that and be in that state and be on stream. It's not good. It's just not good. And I can't even laugh at that. It's so sad to just see that and see a guy who went from somebody who was like happy and healthy and energetic to that. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. And I think that's what a lot of people saw. I think it is what a lot of people saw.